morning, everybody. It is 3:30 in the morning, and we are on our way to the Long Trail in Rutland, Vermont. So we'll see you there at sunrise. It is 6:30. Took a little cat nap when I got here, waiting for the sun to come up. It is a bit chilly. Whoo! 45. I'm in my shorts and my long sleeve hoodie. And if it stays this chilly in the morning, I'll be putting my base layer on and my puffy jacket. But right now, we are heading toward the trail just off of Route 4. And the trail's up ahead. We go, Appalachian Trail south. Or should I say Long Trail. Let's see if we can get warmed up a bit here. That's my big climb for today. Top of Killington. That is 3,900 feet. And it's a kind of a steady, gradual climb. And then it's a pretty good drop on the other side, so it'll be downhill most of the day after that. Depends on how far I'm going. Then a series of ups and downs. And the next biggest mountain, which is the biggest one on this section, is Stratton, which is 3,940 feet. Be doing that in maybe a couple days. I didn't check the mileage. Now it did say one of these days is supposed to be like an inch of rain. So, and another says it might be light rain. So on those days, I will probably be spending the night in the shelters and avoid having to set up and take down a wet tent. So going down at the moment, but then I can see it off in the distance. There's a mountain. Now I know it skirts the top, and I did not summit it going on the AT. That was just extra miles, so I'm like, nope. But depending on how far I gotta go to get to the summit, if it's not that long, I'll go up to the summit and see what we get for views. Take some video and take some pictures. The rocky goodness. But on a good note, with the exception of the rain coming, this trail is not going to be as muddy as Vermont is known for. It's been a pretty dry summer. So, get a lot of miles in before the rain comes would be nice. On a good note, maybe the rain won't soak in. It'll just glide off. We'll see. There's a solid water source. There were a couple tiny pockets of water back at the beginning, but you're so close to Route 4, it's like, do you really need it? Especially if you're going into Rutland to resupply. Same with that one I just passed. But it depends, you know, if you're coming straight from the Long Trail crossing Route 4 and continuing on, then that one's a nice spot. Camel up. Shelter that way. We've done 2 miles. Couple Lodge is 4.5. I think that one's before we get to the top of Killington, so it's going to be a bit that way. Let's see what this sign says. 2 miles that way to Churchill Shelter. Pico link to summit for Pico Pass. Sherburne Pass Trail. Long Trail, Appalachian Trail that way. Don't see any mountains in the distance, so there's no way we pass Killington this early. That might have been a little bump, a little teaser, because we're kind of going downhill, so I know we don't see anything off in the distance either. Doesn't matter. We keep going southbound. till we get to North Adams, Massachusetts. So my assumptions are proving correct. If you look, you may or may not be able to see it. That's the peak of a mountain, shrouded in clouds. That's got to be what I'm looking for. So, I'm still heading in that direction. Currently going at a downward slope. But that's definitely a good size up we're going to be hitting pretty soon. Looks like the up begins now. Huh. Cooper Lodge. I'm just curious. Probably condemned. Don't see any signs though. Looks like they're trying to keep people from tenting over there. Stealth site there. Not staying here, but it'd be nice if there was signage. There you go. Tent platforms. There's a pretty. Killington Peak Point 2. Not happening. Nope. Keep heading south. I gotta put big miles in to make it out for Saturday. That's a half a mile. No thank you. A little bit of a view. Something going on. Mountain over there. I mean, that's the top of Killington. Just met a no-bow hiker, young guy. Let me zoom this out. There we go. He just got back on trail. He's heading north to the Canadian border. I didn't expect to find anybody on trail this time of year, but you never know. I certainly don't expect to see any AT through hikers. That might not be. I don't know if that's Killington. It's another tower situation there. That seems further away than when I think Killington's in that direction somewhere. I think it's all part of it, but I'm not sure. It's a big building up there. That's for sure. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's like Mount Washington. You got a place where you can grab grub and stuff. But not for me. Now we're going down, down, down. Not sure if we get any more ups today. Maybe some little bumps. Sun's coming out. Well, this is a nice treat. I don't stub my toe. Just popped out of the woods to this. So far, 6 no-bow hikers, which is 6 more than I anticipated seeing this time of year, but all doing a long trail. No AT guys, 'cause that's a little bit late for that. I mean, it's possible, but they'd have to bump up to New Katahdin before they close next month. So we'll see how long this nice little trail lasts. Let's be able to get some miles. Alright, so the AT cuts off the road. There's some spaces by the beach you can camp. Check this place out. Got even stove in it. Look at that. Nice little water source. Just cabins are just up there, and it's the same road I came down, so I could have just followed the road. But I don't need water. max mile. I might have a chisel and log time. Continuing that way. Nice water source, but I don't need any. Alright, that was my 7th Nobo hiker I ran into. He looks like he's about my age or close to it. He's actually an AT through hiker, which is very rare right now because Katahdin will be closing middle of October. He's from Florida and he is going to try to make it all the way to Hanover, New Hampshire, and then he's gonna have to fly home. He's lamenting the cost of coming back to, finish his hike, so it goes by the trail name of Skittles. So his phone ran out of power, so he's picking my brain as to where to go to get power for the night. And I told him, I said, I didn't go up top of Killington, and there's a huge building there, and there's that old dilapidated shelter just, south of that, where he could stay the night unless you can stay up on top. But I said, that's a huge building up there. There's got to have something for charging. If not, he has an 11-mile hike back to Route 4 and go up to the Inlet Long Trail or catch the bus into Rutland. So I don't think he wants to do 11 miles, which shocked me because it's 12 o'clock and that means I did pretty much 11 miles so far. So I get the rest of the day to bang out. Who knows, maybe this could be my only 30-miler I've ever done. I did my longest day on the AT. It was in Vermont, which is 27.5, which, ironically, he was looking for that same place. He was asking me, there's a farm stand, and I'm not sure where. I said, yeah, that farm stand is a little ways up the trail for you, but it's only open on weekends. So he's got days before he can get to that to charge up his phone. So his best bet is going up to taking a 0.2 up to Killington and crash there if they let you. Colorful. Stone wall. Back on the road. Down to Shrewsbury. Now that's weird. Am I going that way? I guess so. So this is the same road I was just on. Having me going uphill. Bizarre. Might as well water and hole. Cutting the back of the woods right there. More water. Starting to reminisce. I remember this. Of course, I was coming Nobo, not Sobo. And so that's a long way down to go get water. Not a lot of nice stealth spots, though. So that's the other good thing about being in this part of the Long Trail. Since it's married to the AT, get more foot traffic, which means more opportunity for stealth camping. So, see how far I get today. Only 500 miles. I remember leaving a note in there for someone. 500 miles is funny because I just found a 500-mile marker somebody made with twigs. But it was a little ways away from that one. And there was two 1,700-mile marker ones that were also quite a bit away from each other. So, wherever it says on the app, I guess. There you go, 500 miles to Katahdin. I'm going in the opposite direction. Off he goes. Nice. You gotta cross over though. Got water there at that creek, cameled up. See if I can make it 3.7 miles. That was my goal for today. There is a shelter there. It is 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna push on to see if I can get my big day done. Fingers crossed, getting tired. It's like an airport. Hear the sounds of the road down there. That's Route 103. Nice little gorge. A moment too soon. Find some water.
That's all, folks.